Well, now, I said we'd order some lights and see what happened. Well, they've arrived. Let me show you what they look like. It's kind of interesting. The cables coming out of the back are almost as big as the light fixture itself. Let me see if I can get this to focus so you can really see it. Yeah, they don't look too bad. And a little bigger than what's there already, but we'll give that a try. Certainly with the wires sticking through on the inside, we're going to have to make sure they bend up to stay clear of anything going in there. They come in a little packet. They really were very cheap. I love that they give you the 10K resistor, complete with instructions in Chinese. Lovely. I'm sure there are some words somewhere I can read, but yes, these will be 3 volt likely, and a 10K resistor in series will make them operate on 12 volts more or less. Usually these things are 20 milliamps. Not seeing that written anywhere, but we'll have a look on the Chinese instructions. See what is, oh, there's something in English. What's that say? 3 volts, and if you're going to put between 9 and 16, you're going to need the 10K resistor. Well, exactly what I just said, so who needs instructions? We'll get one of these alight and have a look. Hold on. Now I've got a couple of these button batteries. You have to be careful with these things. The plus on these is the wrong end. I don't know why that's the case, but it is. So I'll hold those between my fingers and jam the wires on and we'll have a look. Hold on. Right then, let's see if we can squidge this in there. Come on. There we go. Well, that doesn't look too bad. It's the right color. It's warm white. Let's move it over to the engine shed and see if that looks even half decent. Well, there you go. That once that's fitted, that will look just fine. It's making the right kind of noises, not 3 volts. Yeah, why not? So that's a success. So what else came in the care package? Mounting putty. It's the closest I could get to black tack. It said with 3 spatula. Well, lovely. I've got a plastic stick, but that looks about right, and it feels right through the case. Let's try these out. These are reed switches. Let me get one out for you. Is the box open? Yeah. So what's that? Oh, they've given magnets. So neodymium magnets came with it. Oh, that's interesting. Well, these are magnetic switches, and the idea is I was going to say you have to find a magnet, but they've sent magnets with it. You stick one of those underneath the train, and you put one of these things underneath the track, and as this, or in the side of the platform there, where the Gronk will eat it, if you know that story by now. And as the EMU goes by, it'll trigger that switch with one of those magnets and make a blue LED flash. It'll look like an arc, and only the EMU will do it. So there won't be a magnet on the steam train, so you don't get a spark from the third rail, which I haven't fitted. What lies upside down with insulators sticking in the air? That will be a dead third rail. I've had a talk to a friend who's suggested plastic rail. I think that's not a bad idea. I'm heading off to the model shop one day this week and we'll give it a try, because these poor locomotives or EMUs are not getting very far without their conductor rails. Right, what else did we get in the mail? Now this is interesting. These are tiny little drill bits. Let me go show you what I've been using. So here's my tiny little drill bit packet. What's this one, for example? 1.2 1mm. And these things are about $4 a piece or something stupid. And they're steel, so they don't last very long at all. But I've got a good selection. That's about the smallest I've got. This became an issue when I was trying to install these. You might remember I had to drill, if you can see that, there's a hole there in the sleeper. And just getting the right size hole for the insulators to sit into was a real problem. But I don't mind them being a little loose. We're going to have to rethink all that anyway. But not being able to find small drill bits was a real issue. Until now. And then my electronics background kicked in and I remembered these things. Now look at the size of those. I don't know if you can see that even. They are absolutely tiny. These are printed circuit board drills. Now, the thing with printed circuit boards is that they are typically made of, people refer to them as Bakelite, but they're nothing of the sort. They're either a plastic composite or fiberglass, and typically normal drill bits go dull drilling through those things in absolutely no time. What I'm talking about is these kind of boards. You can see they're sort of a fiberglass, not very hard, but the particular material just dulls everything down. Now this particular board doesn't have very many holes drilled all the way through, but I did have to drill the dozen or so holes for those solder joints before I made up this board. This didn't come ready-made. It was one of those kits. Why they just can't put them together? They must think I like soldering. So I had to put those connector blocks in there. So these are the drills. Now I didn't have these. I was using those. But these are the drills that you use for that. I can't imagine why I would use the smallest one there. It looks like something a dentist would use. But they've all got the same size shank, and somewhere on there there's markings telling you how big they are. I ordered one of these, a set, and 5 came. They're all the same, so I thought, what have I done? And I went and looked and it said no, the description was a set of 50, not a set of 10. So there's 5 of each size. Remarkably cheap. I do not remember how much they are. I should probably look, but certainly not more than $20 for the whole lot, which is really good. A few cents each, in other words. They'll last me a lifetime, I would hope. Now, those will fit into a Dremel. So all of a sudden, the Dremel is getting some traction with me. So those will be useful. If you are threading, for example, you could just drill a hole the size of that mast there for the traffic lights. But if you're drilling holes for the individual wires, you don't want a great big hole somewhere. You can just use one of those. So that's rather lovely. So that's the shopping haul for today. I'll get on and cut the peg off, and I'll probably save that. Is there a hole in that? No, there isn't. I'll probably save it for somewhere else. But I can imagine a few places those lights will appear. Do you remember I said the station could use some light? Well, these are in close enough they look huge there. That's because I'm far away. That's a perspective thing. They're the right size for coming out of there, and certainly on the side of that one. That's one place I could see them getting used. Now, just for once, I'm going to remember to remove everything from the track. I've just put it up here so that you could see it. Remove everything before I run trains. We will run a train just to have a little chat. And I did say it was going to be an EMU, didn't I? Well, there is one sitting there. Let's give that a go. Now, I haven't actually tried it. Usually these EMUs are relegated to the branch line and they've been busily shunting back and forth there. There's a little fiddle yard over there. I will just show you that. Hold on. So there's a EMU sticking out of the tunnel mouth which needs working on, beside the hill that needs working on. But that track leads to a fiddle yard. It looks like the tunnel come out of the tunnel that is done, and it forks into two, and it appears that that's the station approach, but actually it isn't. There's another one hiding under there in the dark. So those things can busily shuttle back and forth. Now then, the lights have come on. I don't know from memory the code for this. I'll hazard a guess. 84. The head codes on the trains I very often use so that it's obvious. Well, of course, the way to tell, we just try and turn the lights on and off. I've selected 84 on the controller. Let's see if we can turn those lights. Yep, we've got it. Let's give it a run. I'll be paying close attention to it. Ooh, it's smooth. Now these particular units really do have some interesting memories for me. We used to call them Sardine Specials. Now most of the time going to school we would head in an all blue. That's another one there. That's a 2-car unit. There were so many school children that went to school in these things that we certainly needed more than 2 cars. And when just 2 would pull into the station, we would call it a Sardine Special. I must say this one is running particularly nicely. Part of the problem with these, of course, they were non-corridor. And you'll see the yellow line on the top of the back half. I'll stop the train and show you that in a moment. That was the indication of first class, and we really weren't supposed to be in that section. But some of the bigger boys would climb in there anyway. Who was going to get them on the 1 stop or 4 stops, depending which way we were going to school? Some days I went one direction and some another. There were toilets in one of the carriages. First class compartment had a toilet at the back of it, and so it was easy to put one at the front of the other section. But there wasn't one, as far as I remember, in the other part. Alrighty, a couple of things. The black triangle in the front, that was the indicator that there was a guards or luggage compartment at that end. Luggage mostly. Sometimes we'd put our bikes in there. Where at the other end, there was space for a guard, but there was no luggage compartment, and then no black triangle on the end. There's the yellow line I'm talking about, indicating first class, and the toilet at the back end of first class. And there would have been, you see the 2 seats there. That detail is pretty good. The 2 seats there, either side of a door on that bulkhead. So there would have been a toilet there. No corridor, and actually accurately a single buffer. And then in the next compartment, there's a bench seat that goes all the way across because there's no door there. And that would go all the way down the train. Now, in this particular case, there's a motor hiding behind those windows. We can't actually see. But certainly the garden, there was quite a substantial luggage compartment there. Now, what is missing on the roof? I'll show you that on the other one. Now, this is obviously a different class or a different version or something. Still has the black triangle on the, can you see it there? On that end. But up on the roof is what I'd wanted to show you. Those, all these models are dusty. But those boxes, these ones right here, What they are is actually periscopes. And when we were served a Sardine Special, the guard would sometimes let us ride in his compartment, and there was a periscope and a little desk in there, and you could look in the periscope and look out along the top of the train, or backwards along the top of the train. Kind of interesting. The journey was very short, and I'm sure they got fed up with us. Can I have a go? Can I have a go? They did have a very particular sound to them. This is not sound fitted. Very smooth. I'm surprised. And it really didn't bother all the way around. Now, certainly, this is one of the scenes that would be accurate. Well, other than there not being a Gronk in Deal, but that's Deal's signal box, and these things would have gone past there thousands of times in their working life. Now, you should be pleased with me. Today we're right rail running, so we're doing okay. It sounds like an unlikely scene. West Country locomotive, but actually those things routinely visited Ramsgate, and a lot of these EMUs were based there. I don't think they intentionally ran them on commuter services in just two-car formation, but the versatility these things had was, of course, you could pair them with 4-car units or even 8-car units. It wasn't uncommon to see a couple of these stuck on the front. And here's a weird one. You see the buffet car down there. On the way home from school, it wasn't, and the buffet was never open, but it was not uncommon to have a buffet car with a 4-car EMU with a Sardine Special tagged onto the front. It's not coming out of there, it's on the high level right now. That line runs above the signal box. Memories of going to school. I took the advice of a family member to never build a model railway that didn't have the ability to just watch the trains go by. Well, there you go. An EMU successfully completing laps for us, and an engine shed whose spare parts have arrived. The engine shed repair might be coming up really soon. Since I've got all the bits, I've got no excuse now, do I? Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and do all that good stuff, and we'll see if we can't make a few more of these.